Hi, good morning. Today we're going to do our picture read aloud with a book called Freedom Summer, written by Deborah Wiles and illustrated by Jerome Lagarig. Not sure how to pronounce his last name. And then with this story, we're going to be looking at the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which was also known as Freedom Summer. And afterwards, you'll get to do a little bit of research and create some art based on a person who helped promote some type of freedom um, in our history or in our world today. So let's start by reading Freedom Summer. Okay. John Henry Waddle is my best friend. His mama works for my mama. Her name is Annie Mae. Every morning at 8 o'clock, Annie Mae steps off the county bus and walks up the long hill to my house. If it's summer, John Henry is stepping it right beside her. We like to help Annie Mae. We shell butter beans, we sweep the front porch, we let the cats in, then chase the cats out of the house until Annie Mae says, "Shoo, enough of you two, go play." We shoot marbles in the dirt until we're too hot to be alive. Then we yell, "Last one in is a rotten egg," and run straight for Fiddler's Creek. John Henry swims better than anyone I know. He crawls like a catfish, blows bubbles like a swamp monster, but he doesn't swim in the town pool with me. He's not allowed. So we dam the creek with rocks and sticks to make a swimming spot, then holler and jump in, wearing only our skin. John Henry's skin is the color of browned butter. He smells like pine needles after a good rain. My skin is the color of the pale moths that dance around the porch light at night. John Henry says I smell like a just washed sock. "This means war," I shout. We churn that water into a white hurricane and laugh until our sides hurt. Then we float on our backs and spout like whales. "I'm going to be a fireman when I grow up," I say. "Me too," says John Henry. Sorry about the glare. There they are, swimming. I have 2 nickels for ice pops. So we put on our clothes and walk into town. John Henry doesn't come with me through the front door of Mr. Mason's general store. He's not allowed. "How you doing, young Joe?" asks Mr. Mason. He winks and says, "You gonna eat these all by yourself?" My heart does a quick beat. "I got one for a friend," I say, and scoot out the door. "Yes, sir, it's mighty hot out there," Mr. Mason calls after me. "I love ice pops," says John Henry. "Me too," I say. Annie Mae makes dinner for my family every night. She creams the corn and rolls the biscuits. Daddy stirs his iced tea and says, "The town pool opens tomorrow to everybody under the sun, no matter what color." "This is the new law," Mama tells me. She helps my plate with peas and says, "It's the way it's going to be now. Everybody together. Lunch counters, restrooms, drinking fountains too." I wiggle in my chair like a doodlebug. "I got to be excused," I shout and run to the kitchen to tell John Henry. "I'm going to swim in the town pool," he hollers. "Is it deep?" "Real deep," I tell him. "And the water's so clear you can jump to the bottom and open your eyes and still see." "Let's be the first ones there," says John Henry. "I'll bring my good luck nickel, and we can dive for it." Next morning, as soon as the sun peeks into the sky, here comes my best friend, John Henry Waddle, running to meet me. "Let's go," he yells. "I got my nickel." And I run right with him, all the way to the town swimming pool. We race each other over the last hill, and we stop. County dump trucks are here. They grind and back up to the empty pool. Workers rake steaming asphalt into the hole where sparkling clean water used to be. One of them is John Henry's big brother, Will Rogers. We start to call him. "What happened?" But he sees us first and points back on down the road. It means, "Get on home." But our feet feel stuck. So we hunker in the tall weeds and watch all morning until the pool is filled with hot, spongy tar. Smoky steam rises in the air. Workers tie planks to their shoes and stomp on the blacktop to make it smooth. Will Rogers heaves his shovel into the back of an empty truck and climbs up with the other workers. His face is like a storm cloud, and I know this job has made him angry. "Let's go," a boss man shouts, and the trucks rumble, slam down the road. It's so quiet now. We can hear the breeze whisper through the grass. We sit on the diving board and stare at the tops of the silver ladders sticking up from the tar. My heart beats hard in my chest. John Henry's voice shakes. "White folks don't want colored folks in their pool." "You're wrong, John Henry," I say, but I know he's right. "Let's go back to Fiddler's Creek," I say. I didn't want to swim in this old pool anyway. John Henry's eyes filled up with angry tears. "I did," he says. "I wanted to swim in this pool. I want to do everything you can do." I don't know what to say, but as we walk back to town, my head starts to pop with new ideas. I want to go to the dairy dip with John Henry, sit down and share root beer floats. I want us to go to the picture show, buy popcorn, and watch a movie together. I want to see this town with John Henry's eyes. We stop in front of Mr. Mason's store. I jam my hands into my pockets while my mind searches for words to put with my new ideas. My fingers close around 2 nickels. "Want to get an ice pop?" John Henry wipes his eyes and takes a breath. "I want to pick it out myself." I swallow hard, and my heart says yes. "Let's do that," I say. I give John Henry one of my nickels. He shakes his head. I got my own. We look at each other. Then we walk through the front door together. So that's the story of Freedom Summer. And just a little background on this story. It says, a note about the text. In the early 1960s, the American South had long been a place where Black Americans could not drink from the same fountains as whites, attend the same schools, or enjoy the same public areas. So the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which is what this book is based on, became law and stated that all persons shall be entitled to full and equal enjoyment of any public place, regardless of race, color, religion, or national origin. So then he talks a little bit about himself. When he was born in Mobile, Alabama, and the author's a white man, he spent summers visiting his beloved Mississippi relatives. When the Civil Rights Act was passed, the town pool closed, and so did roller rinks and ice cream parlors. Rather than lawfully giving Blacks the same rights and freedoms as whites, many Southern businesses chose to shut their doors in protest, and some of them closed forever. Also in the summer of 1964, civil rights workers in Mississippi organized Freedom Summer, which was a movement to register Black Americans to vote. It was a time of great racial violence and change. And so that is what this story is about. It's a fictional story, but it's based on real events. So the assignment, the activity to do is, this is Freedom Summer. The activity is Freedom blank. You choose what you want the noun there to be. So I'm a big sports fan, so I chose Freedom Baseball. So that's my title. And then I'd like you to just create any type of art. I'm not quite the artist, so I just did a drawing. But this is Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson was the first, he's known as the first African American to play for the Major League Baseball League. In 1947 was his first game, in April of 1947. So I'd like you to just create your art of that person in any style you want. I did mine kind of cartoony. You could do yours with pencil shading. You can do yours in colored pencil. You can create some other type of art project based around this person. And then I'd like you to put either some facts about them or some quotes that they said, or a little of everything. So I decorated mine with, he's got his Brooklyn Dodgers uniform, and then we've got the little baseball field right here. And then I wrote things like equal rights, respect for all, equal opportunities, equity, love your neighbor, which comes right out of the Bible. And then I put two quotes by Jackie Robinson. So one says, "A life is not important except in the impact it has on others' lives." And his other quote is, "I'm not concerned with your liking or disliking me. All I ask is that you respect me as a human being." So I'd like you to just take some time and think about, it could be a person from history, it could be a person in today's world, because although the Civil Rights Act happened in 1964, we all know that there are still problems in our society today around civil rights and equality and equity. So choose your person, write some facts and or quotes about them in whatever style you'd like. And then I would love it if you could take a picture of it and email it to me. And I posted my email address on the Google Classroom page, but it's mariac@nativityprep.org. I'd love to see the art that you're doing and any feedback on these lessons. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in next week's class.